My name is Song, and I'm an application engineer here at CIMON. Today's tutorial is to get started with PLC-S Web Server. The idea behind Web Server of PLC-S allows you to monitor and control device value of PLC online through Internet. Let's look at some of the features. The Web Server of PLC-S provides Web Server Manager tool to configure Web Server page. There's no need to install extra software for configuring and monitoring purposes. Security is enhanced. Only authorized ID and IP address or MAC address are allowed to access Web Server, and there are 15 different security levels for user and page. Web pages are stored in SD card of PLCS CPU module so that they don't need additional program memory of CPU module. Web pages are stored in HTML file format and it can be uploaded in Web Server. And you can have 3 concurrent users having access to web page when Modbus and HMI protocol are not being used. Xpanel can use LOTA protocol to connect to PLC. According to the specification of Web Server, the supported HTTP version is 1.1, and the memory of SD card should be FAT32 format with the maximum of 8 GB for storage. As mentioned before, there are 1 to 15 different security levels for each web page. And you can set it, you have the option from 1 to 10 seconds for refreshing your web page on the internet web browser. And you're given a maximum of 30 web pages and with a 60 kilobyte, maximum 60 kilobyte per each page. The required CPU module and CIMON software versions are as follows. For your CM3 PLCS series, it should be either SP32MDT, the sync type, or the SP32MDC, the source type. With the communication options as Ethernet with the SD card for this model, and for this model you have the digital output 16 and the digital input 16 with the sync type and with the communication as RS232 and RS485 with Ethernet and SD card. And for the only difference for these models are the fact that they're source type. And in this video tutorial, I'm going to use the CM3-SP32MDTF-SD card. And notice that the CIMON version should be 6.1 or higher. 6.1 is the latest version out there at this point. And the firmware version should be 6.11 or higher. And according to, as you can see in the table, there are 4 types of internet browsers that are supported for web server, such as Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, and Apple's Safari, and the Firefox. Before we head on to the CIMON software, and I want to make sure that it is important to create a web folder named web inside your SD card that will be inserted into the PLCS CPU. Because without this folder named web with the uppercase, there will be no transmitting of HTML files that contain web pages information. And now I'm opening CIMON software, and I'm creating a new project with PLCS as the CPU type, and you click next. I'm gonna name my project as Web Server Test. Oh, it's already exists. So Web Server function. And I'm making a quick connection with CIMON. And here it says my PLCS. The firmware version is 6.11, and I'm also showing the PLC status. It tells you that the OS version, the firmware version is 6.11 according to the specifications over here, and the CIMON software should be 6.10, which is also the required software version as stated here over here. And I'm going to disconnect it just so that I can add a new program. I'm adding a really simple letter diagram. I'm having some devices that could be monitored and controlled on internet web browser through the web server function. I'm having the F93, which will clock for 1 second for every second, and it will increase the value of D100. And I'm having another increase command for D101, and I'm gonna save it. And we are going to the web server manager. For the title, this will be the title for the main page, and you're given a CIMON web server as the default name, and which I'm gonna use. And I'm going to add engineer page on the bottom. I'm creating an engineer page, and which I'm gonna name it as PLC information. And I'm going to add PLC information. Let's say PLC mode, OS version, run mode, and operation mode. And this will not allow you to add more items than 4 at a time. So you add 4 items, you click OK, and if you want to add more, you click on the button again, and it will allow you to select another 4 items. And I'm adding more and more because I want to have as much as information I can regarding my web server function. So I'm adding all the information available, and you click OK. So I have the PLC information. Now I need a page, a new engineer page for monitoring my devices, and I'm gonna add device over here. The devices here should match the devices listed here. So I'm gonna add M00, which will be binary. You click OK, and M01, F93, M02, M02. I'm having a coil. I'm gonna have unsigned integer for D100. Also have one more of that, D101. And I click OK. Now I have the PLC information as well as the PLC devices. And I'm gonna add one more page, which will be my video instruction page. Um, you can add an image, or you can add a text, or you can add a multimedia, or such as a YouTube video, or you can have PDF document for just in case you forgot how to configure or you need an instruction to refer to, then these functions come in handy for that. So for my video tutorial, I'm gonna add YouTube video, which I need the source code. So I'm opening YouTube. And I found the desired video, and once you find it, you go to share, you click on embedded, and you copy the source, then you paste the source and you click OK, then there you have the video available. You click OK. So now I have the PLC information, a monitoring page, and video for instruction reference, and I'm going to add my engineer three engineer pages to the manual list one by one. And the start page, it means that when I open a page, the PLC information will be the starting page. If you want to have the monitor page as the start off, then you click on the monitor and you set start page, then there you have it. But in this tutorial, I want to have PLC information as my startup page. And for the default page level, you're given as from security levels from level 1 to 15, level 1 being the highest security and level 15 as the lowest, but I'm gonna put it on default for all the remaining pages. And for the refreshing is to, if I say I want to have my page refresh for every second, then I click on the 1 second for my PLC information, and I want to have my monitor page as 1 second for refreshing. So when I have this ready to go, I click on next, and then these three files are the ones that I just made, and these 6 files, additional files, are the required server files that will be transmitted to your SD card when downloading this project, a web server manager. For the time being, I'm going to save it for now because I'm going to add 2 more programs. The first of which will be the security, where I can set up security settings, either having user ID or having the IP address or MAC address, but I'm going to have a user ID for this tutorial, and I'm going to set up also the auto logout for, let's say, 3 minutes. So if I don't do any updates, or I don't move to the next page or make any change for 3 minutes, then you will automatically log my account out. So for the user ID, I'm gonna add ID as CIMON and check ID. It tells me it is okay to use the ID. For the password, I'm gonna say Simon. And for the user level, I'm going to give the level 1 quite highest, and I'm going to put admin, administrator account. You can have a maximum of 16 ID registered here, and you can also have 16 addresses, IP addresses, as well as MAC addresses, if you desire. So now that I have my password and ID and password, I saved my program, and I'm gonna add one more, which will be web server security, which determines either you will have the security by user and IP user account, or either by IP address. But in this case, I'm gonna have the user security. And for the web page default level, I'm just gonna set up as 10. Click save. So now that I have the letter diagram that I want to monitor online, and I have the web server manager ready to go, I have two of those security special programs ready. Now, for the last configuration, you need to set up the Ethernet cable, and for the IP address, I'm putting mine. For the sub mask, you enter, and for the gateway IP address, and then I click OK. Now you have everything ready to go. You just need to download to SD card and onto your PLCS CPU. So you make the connection, and then you open the web server manager. You click on next, and then you write to PLC, and it's transmitting all the web pages files to the SD card. And now I'm gonna download the rest of the programs. And let us check if we have, let us test out our web server function. Entering my IP address. And it tells you to enter your ID, Simon, my password, Simon, click login, and I am logged in. So since the PLC information as the startup page, it's the first page you see will be the PLC information. It tells you the model name, the firmware version, and the rest of the information that you configured. And then now you want to move on to the monitor page and actually see how you if I can monitor and control the device. So I want to have I want to turn on the M00, and yes, it is turned on, and as well as the coil Y10, and I want to turn it off by giving the value of 0, and it is turned off. And for the next, and I'm going to turn on M01, which is also turned on, and I want to turn on M02 to have my D100 as the increased value. And let's say if I want to have the D100 counting increasing from, let's say, 350, then there you have it. It's starting from counting from 350, and let's say if you want to count it from 1200, then yes, it is counting from 1200. So now that you're for the last for video, in case you forgot some of the instructions, and now you have the link to the YouTube video. The purpose of today's tutorial is to program the PLCS CIMON, and you can watch the video for a while, and then just to refresh your instructions that you have learned before. And now we have seen that the internet web browser, the internet explorer is working. I'm gonna have try Google Chrome. I'm typing the address. It tells you to again log in my password. But it's taking a while. Yes, I have the PLC information here. And I want to move on to the monitor. I want to stop this device. M02. I'm giving the value of 0, and it has stopped. Let's say I want to have the value counting from 3000, and there you have 3000 here. And for the video, yes, it is working. And now we've tested out the Internet Explorer, Google Chrome. I'm gonna have the Firefox. And for the time constraints, I'm just gonna show you just a few, just to show that it is working. Monitor, I'm gonna turn on M02 again. Yes, it's turned on. And I'm gonna try Safari. well, it's refreshing for every second. So I'm gonna turn off the Firefox. Yes, I'm closing two tabs. And I am logged in. The reason why I don't have to type type in my password, ID and password, is because I have already been logged in before. So I'm just gonna give the value of 0, which will stop here. And now we have tested out all the four different types of internet web browsers, and we've seen that the web server allows you to monitor and control the device online through internet. So if you have so this is the end of video tutorial for today, and if you have any comments or any questions, please email me at songsong@simon.com. Thank you.